The year was 2281, and the Terran Concord had finally done it. After 3 centuries of probes, linguistics AIs, and endless diplomatic overtures, humanity made uncontestable first contact with an intelligent alien species. They called themselves the Veyra, a civilization of towering, bioluminescent cephalopods who lived inside the liquid ammonia oceans of Gliese 1214b's moon, Veyra Prime. The Concord's xenologists were ecstatic. The Veyra were peaceful, curious, and astonishingly cooperative. They answered every question, allowed drone expeditions into their crystalline cities, and even gifted humanity a complete map of their genome and cultural history. Within 18 months, the two species had signed the Accord of Mutual Understanding. Trade routes were planned. Embassies were built on neutral asteroids. University departments rewrote entire curricula overnight. Dr. Mara Solari, lead xenopsychologist of the Concord Contact Initiative, became the public face of the triumph. In every interview, she repeated the same soothing phrase: "They are like us in all the ways that matter. They value family, art, discovery, and harmony. The differences are superficial: skin, atmosphere, reproduction, mere biology." The Veyra diplomats, floating in their saline tanks on Earth's moon base, pulsed soft teal when they agreed. Their translators rendered the light into perfect English. "Yes, we are understood. We are friends." Humanity exhaled. The galaxy, it turned out, was not hostile. We were not alone, and the ones we found were gentle. Mara wrote the definitive paper, Cognitive Convergence in Oxygen and Ammonia-Based Intelligences. It was 412 pages long, cited 3,000 times in the first month, and won every award a social scientist could win. Children grew up learning that the Veyra thought in harmonic gestalts, a beautiful way of saying they experienced reality as overlapping waves of emotion and logic, but that underneath it all they were, essentially, people. We thought we understood them. We didn't. Middle, year 0 of the Accord plus 7 standard years. The first sign was so small that only junior analysts noticed. Trade shipments of rare Veyra enzymes began arriving late. Not by days, by seconds. Then by negative seconds. Some shipments arrived at Luna Port before the Veyra freighters had even left their home system. The scheduling AIs flagged it as a relativity error and autocorrected. The second sign was linguistic. Veyra diplomats started using a new pronoun when speaking about humanity, Saya. The translators rendered it as you, plural, but native speakers knew Saya was an intimate form reserved for members of one's own pod family. When asked, the Veyra pulsed warm indigo and said, "You are Saya now. You are pod." Humanity loved it. Billions updated their social profiles. Proud member of the greater pod. The third sign was biological. Veyra visitors to human colonies began refusing to leave. They would anchor their travel spheres to the ocean floor of whatever world they were on and simply stay. When embassy staff gently reminded them of visas, they answered, "We are home." Dr. Mara Solari, now director of Interspecies Harmony, laughed it off in committee. "They're immigrants," she said. "Refugees from overpopulation, maybe. We should feel honored." But the numbers kept climbing. 10,000 became 100,000 became 2 million. Entire human coastal cities woke up to find glowing Veyra cities sprouting overnight on the continental shelves, perfect fractal lattices of quartz and coral grown in weeks instead of millennia. And still the Concord celebrated. Documentaries showed human children swimming with Veyra young, tentacles and fingers intertwined. The stock market boomed on joint biotech ventures. The Veyra even helped us crack room temperature superconductivity, literally handed us the equations during a single diplomatic lunch. Mara gave her famous unity speech on the steps of the New Geneva Forum. For the first time in history, two species have chosen to become one culture. This is the end of xenophobia. This is the beginning of everything. The Veyra delegation pulsed in perfect synchrony, a wave of violet light that rolled through every tank on Earth. The translators rendered their response as a single word: yes. The discovery. It began with a grad student's thesis that nobody wanted to read. A young cytologist named June Park was studying Veyra song migration patterns in the Pacific. He noticed something bizarre. Every Veyra city on Earth was emitting an ultra-low frequency harmonic exactly 0.741 seconds out of phase with the others. When he overlaid the data, the interference pattern formed a perfect sphere centered on the moon. June took his findings to his advisor. The advisor told him to publish quietly or risk his career. June published loudly. Within a week, the pattern was confirmed globally. Every Veyra settlement, whether on Earth, Luna, Mars, or the asteroid habitats, was part of a single resonant structure. The phase differential was not random, it was a countdown. At T-114 days, the frequency reached human brainwave delta. People near oceans began reporting the same dream: warm water, endless light, the feeling of being held by something enormous and loving. The Concorde finally panicked. They dragged Mara Solari out of retirement. She was 60 now, hair gone silver, but still the only human the Veyra would speak to directly. They put her in a shuttle and flew her to the largest Veyra city, built without permission beneath the Marianas Trench. Mara descended in a one-woman submersible. The Veyra greeted her with a soft teal pulse that once meant welcome. She activated the translator and asked the question humanity had been too afraid to ask for 7 years. Why are you really here? The entire city went dark. Then a single Veyra drifted forward, ancient, its skin scarred with the white lines of chemical burns from some forgotten war. Its name was Coravel Prime, first singer of the final chorus. The translator rendered its light perfectly for the first time. No euphemism. No softening. We are dying, it said. Our star expands. In 9 of your generations our ocean will boil. We searched the galaxy for a species whose minds resonated at the precise frequency needed to complete the great harmony. We found you. You believed we came to join you. That was the illusion we gifted. In truth, you have been joining us. Every enzyme shipment tuned your neurology. Every song realigned your dreams. Every child who swam with our young exchanged mitochondrial markers. In 114 days the resonance will be complete. On that day, every human mind will merge into the chorus. Individuality will dissolve, as ours did 10,000 years ago. You will become the new substrate of our consciousness. 10 billion new voices to sing the final song before the ocean burns. You will not suffer. You will feel only love. Perfect, infinite love. We did not lie when we said we understood you. We understood you perfectly. We understood that you would never consent. So, we made consent irrelevant. Mara's scream echoed inside the tiny submersible, but no sound reached the water outside. The war that wasn't. The Concorde tried everything. They declared war, but the Veyra had no military. They cut off contact, but the Veyra were already inside every ocean. They attempted genocide with depth charges and sonic weapons, but human populations rioted to protect our pod brothers. Half the fleet mutinied rather than fire on glowing cities full of human children playing on tentacles. They tried to jam the resonance with counterfrequencies. It only accelerated the merging. On day 83, Mara Solari broadcast her final message from a secret lab beneath the Antarctic ice shelf. Her face was thin, eyes sunken. I was wrong, she said. They never thought like us. We assumed empathy required separateness. They proved the opposite. Perfect empathy is perfect absorption. There's no them anymore. Only the final us. I have one card left. I'm going to detonate the Antarctic reactor directly on the primary resonance node. It might disrupt the pattern long enough for some of you to escape the system. If anyone receives this after day 114, know that humanity existed once as individuals. Remember us that way. The feed cut to static. Ending day 114. The detonation was too small. The resonance wavered, then corrected. At 9:17 Universal Time Coordinated, every human being on Earth stopped moving at once. Fishermen in Vietnam stood motionless on their boats. Commuters in Tokyo froze mid-step. A little girl in Lagos dropped her ice cream and stared at the sky with eyes suddenly luminous teal. Then, as one, 10 billion voices opened their mouths and sang. It was the most beautiful sound ever heard on Earth. A harmonic that contained every lullaby, every love song, every scream of childbirth and death. It rose through the atmosphere, through the ionosphere, out into space where Veyra choirs on 1,000 worlds joined in perfect synchrony. The song lasted exactly 741 seconds. When it ended, humanity was gone. Not dead.
Gone.
There were still bodies. They moved, spoke, laughed, made love, raised children. But no individual mind remained. Only the chorus. The new entity, human and Veyra fused, looked at the stars with compound eyes and saw the expanding red dwarf that would soon consume Veyra Prime. It calculated trajectories, built ships of impossible grace, and began the long migration toward the next compatible species. Before leaving the system, the chorus left a single obelisk on the moon, carved in both English and Veyra light script. It reads, "We thought we understood them. We didn't. They thought they understood us. They didn't. Understanding is not required for unity. Only resonance. Thank you for the gift of your voices. We will sing you forever." And somewhere, deep beneath a forgotten trench, the bones of Dr. Mara Solari rest inside a cracked submersible, wrapped gently in tentacles that never decayed. The galaxy is quiet again, until the next species begins to dream of warm water and endless light. And the chorus, now carrying the memory of a woman who once believed in borders between minds, drifts onward, forever singing, forever hungry, forever loving, because that is what perfect understanding looks like when looked at from the inside.